What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Goblin, and today I'm coming in with a storytime video for you guys about the time that the cop at my school found my swishers. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do, and also I'd like to mention a couple things before I dive into this topic. First off, I would like to mention that I am sorry for not uploading as much as I typically do lately. I've been missing uploads some days, and I've just been really busy lately figuring everything out in my life, and I'll probably be putting out an update video pretty soon on that, so no need to fear. I will be back into daily uploads and probably double uploads every day pretty soon, so don't worry about that. But anyways, also I want to mention real quick that I know I've been doing a bunch of Overwatch gameplay on my channel soon, and I plan on making a whole separate video really explaining why I'm currently playing Overwatch. But this gameplay in particular is kind of fun to watch. I got something like 29-30 eliminations this game. I was playing as Hanzo, and I got a fucking team kill. I got like a 5-man ult, and then I got the 6th dude. I just fucking domed him with a bow. So keep an eye out for the team kill I got in here. It was pretty badass. But anyways, hope you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do, and let's dive into it. So, school cop found my swishers. Now, this was, I want to say maybe like half a year ago, a little longer than that. This was around December of my junior year, so it was going into 2016, and at the time, our school had a cop, and his name was Mr. Tanksley, and Tanksley was not necessarily very fond of me, okay? Tanksley was, how do I put it? He was a nice guy to most students, but he knew that I was just a hoot and a holler. He knew that I was one of the people who was making him do work. I made him actually have to do his job, so it frustrated him very badly. Now, this guy I was not very fond of at all. We just kind of didn't really like each other, quite honestly. I don't know. I guess he didn't like me because I caused trouble, and I just didn't like him because he stopped me from causing trouble, which, I mean, if that makes sense, I hope. I don't really know. But anyways, so he would look for me every day because I had community service that was assigned by him that was due, and I would always juke him out. I would always finesse my way around him and make sure that if he called me out of class, he would never come directly to class and get me. He would always send like the assistant teacher to deliver like a notice saying, come to my office after class, or like right now. So what I would do is if he sent me a request coming to his office, like right then, I just leave class and never come back. Like I just grab my bag and be like, all right, deuces, I'm fucking dipping. I just skipped that class entirely because I didn't really care. So eventually, he got to the point where he would wait out in the halls for me because, like, this man really needed to see me, and, like, I was jagging on my community service. I was already, like, 2 weeks late, so I was really trying to juke him the fuck out. And every time, I would always walk with a friend because he'd do it around my lunch period. He would never pull me out of class, but he would always make sure that he was out in the halls watching the entrance to the lunchroom, or, like, he was out standing in front of his office just being a nuisance to me. So, of course, little old Goblin here, that was a horrible voice crack. Dear mother of God, I hope that never happens again. But anyways, of course, me being little Goblin here, I'm gonna finesse, so I was walking with a friend at basically all times through the halls, especially around my lunch period, and I would have them walk ahead of me and check corners to see if he was coming. And on this particular day, we did that. However, he still managed to catch me. We got fucked. So we were upstairs at this point, and we would go upstairs because his office was downstairs, Officer Tanksley. So we go upstairs and just walk all the way across the school, and our school, how it was laid out, this is the school that I used to go to, not the current alternative school that I'm at. How the building was laid out, it was kind of in like a horseshoe kind of shape, if that makes sense, and it was 2 stories, and it was just like a giant hallway, basically. The whole building was hallways, like, there was nothing else to the school except for hallways. Like, literally every room, every building was a fucking hallway, dude. It was ridiculous. So we were walking across, and we were about halfway across the top of the building. We were at the deadliest point. This here is the most dangerous area. There's no locker banks to dive into or anything. You're just walking. And if, let's say Officer Tanksley were to start coming your way, you have nowhere to run to. Like, you don't really have anywhere to fucking hide from this man. So we were walking, and lo and behold, he pops out of the senior office. Every class had their own office. There was 4 offices. There was administration in the bottom right of the school, which was where Officer Tanksley typically was, along with, like, the dean and fuck Dick. I don't know if it was bottom right or it was bottom left. It was one of the two. I think it was, like, it wasn't administration. It was, like, I don't know. It wasn't one of the classes' houses. I know that. And then the sophomores had their class house, which was in the bottom right. The juniors had theirs, which was, oh, fuck, dude. I don't remember if it was the top right or the top left. And either way, all I know is that seniors and juniors were on top. So I was walking, and I'm pretty sure it was the senior house that was the top left, because the left side is where the lunchroom was, and I was approaching the lunchroom with my friend, and Tanksley pops out of the office, and I'm like, fuck, I'm about to just grab my shit and run, and he's like, oh, hey, Nick, do you have that letter for me, for your community service hours? I was like, oh, yeah, no problem. I actually did have it on me, but I was juking him out because I was kind of high earlier that day, and I smelled like weed all day, so I was like, fuck. So I didn't want to go into his office because I was like, all right, this is a trap. So I took my bag off right there in the hallway where he was standing and opened my bag. And I heard him sniff a little bit. And I knew immediately. He knew exactly what was going on. And he's like, why don't you step into my office so you're not blocking the hall here? I was like, it's not even a passing period. There's no one coming. He's like, yeah, why don't you just step into my office? I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, shit, I'm fucking out of here, dude. I'm about to dive out the second story window and break my fucking dick off, dude. I'm out the jam. I can't fold for this shit. So I walk into his office, sit down, and try to play it off like I didn't understand why I was in there. And I pulled out the letter and handed it to him. And he looked at it. He was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then he was like, I noticed a little smell coming from your bag. And I was like, oh, that's strange. I don't know why that could be. And he was like, do you mind if I take a look? And I was like, fuck. Because I had no clue what I had in there. I didn't, check my bag. I use that bag on weekends, too, when I'm going out and stuff. For all I know, I could have had, a half ounce in there. Not literally, but you know what I mean. I could have had, a gram in there. Who knows what I could have had stored in that backpack, dude. I didn't know. So I was just like, yeah, I mean, go ahead, I guess. Because even if I said no, he would have done it anyways. That's probable cause. And schools have way looser search rules. You don't have all of your rights when you're attending school, which is kind of shitty. So I was like, all right, yeah, just go ahead. And he searched it, and I was just crossing my fingers the whole time. And he never searched my person, which was really, really lucky because I had a lighter on me, and that's not that big of a deal, but school-wise, that's fucking contraband. That's a decently big deal at school. That's, not a joke at all. So, he pulls out this empty pack of Swishers, and I thought nothing of it. I was like, whatever. And then he pulls out a pack that had a blunt in it, and I was like, oh, fuck, dude. And it didn't have a blunt with any weed in it. It was not rolled yet. It wasn't even gutted yet. It was just a normal Swisher with the tobacco in it. And he pulls out both the packs, and he's like, why are these in here? And I was like, oh, I just sometimes on the weekends, I like to smoke a little cigar every now and then. He's like, you're not 18 yet, are you? And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like, all right, well, you can't be doing stuff like this. You got to stay out of trouble. I really had faith in you and shit like that. And he put all the stuff on the counter, and then he called the dean. Each class at our school had their own dean. The freshmen, the juniors, the sophomores, and the seniors. I just completely fucked up that order, but either way, each class had their own specific dean. And he called in the dean of the seniors class, which I don't know why, because I wasn't a senior. I guess it's just because we were, in the senior class house, because we weren't even in his office at this point. We were just, sitting in some random office. I don't know whose office it was. So the dean of the seniors comes in, and they're asking me a fuck ton of questions. They're like, oh, do you smoke weed? Do you smoke cigarettes? Oh, where'd you get this from? Who do you hang out with? Who do you hang around that smokes weed? And I was just making up all these bullshit answers. They were like, were you with any friends that were smoking weed? Is that why your bag smells like that? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I have some friends who smoke. And they were like, who were they? And I wasn't just going to say, I'm not talking to you. Instead, of course, I'm going to finesse. I'm going to make up some bullshit info. I'm like, oh, yeah, my friend Jimmy, he graduated a couple years ago. He's 20 now. He graduated from a fucking dick shit school. I don't think you guys know him. Or, oh yeah, my friend Sprite. Yeah, he graduated from the soda factory 3 years ago. I don't know if you guys know him or not. He's a cool guy, shit like that. They were bamboozled. They were hooted. They were hollered. They didn't know where the truth was and where the lies ended. It's just simple as that, boys. So I finessed them, chop, and then they just took my Swishers. I was really lucky they didn't punish me because they could have. I'm not 18. That's underage possession of tobacco, which isn't really a very big deal at all. In fact, most courts, if you even end up going to court for that, will just drop it. But if a cop or anyone finds you with tobacco, typically they're not even going to do anything unless it's the end of the month, because then it's their job to be Hitler. But anyways, that is the story I had for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy this story. Drop a like if you did, and let me know if you've ever been caught with anything illicit at school in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.